The draft dust has settled, and the Arizona Cardinals have 12 new players on their roster, in addition to a few undrafted free agents as well. And joining us right now to talk about the busy weekend that was for the organization, it is a pleasure to have their general manager, Monti Ossenfort, who joins us here on the Arizona Sports Line. Monti, welcome back to these airwaves, man. How you doing today?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Appreciate you making time. Yeah, we're doing good. Just kind of catching our breath a little bit after a busy weekend and, excited for the next phase here in the off season. So, thanks a lot for making time for me today.
You know, Bernsey, before Monti became a popular general manager that's getting A's from Mel Kiper Jr. on his draft, he was once a sports radio host of a sports show in college. So just in case.
Wow.
And just in case you need a fill-in host.
What was the name of the show? Show, Monti?
Listenership was not good, fellas. So I'm glad I kind of wanted to. I'll leave that to you guys. It wasn't good, fellas. It was so bad it didn't even have a name. How about that?
It wasn't called Holding Down the Fort with Monti? That's what I would have called it.
That's not bad. I'd still be on if I would have had something good like that.
He's lying. Bernsey had said that he was the host of the popular radio program Sports Show Sunday Morning. What was the main topics when you were doing a sports radio show? What was the main topic you guys had to talk about?
You know, we were just trying to hold it together after a wild Saturday night in college on Sunday morning. You know, I'd say we might have had two faithful listeners, and that was just because they left the radio on all night. So it was anything we could just come up with offhand.
That's great. I want to ask you, your scouting department obviously did a really good job. I mean, you're getting rave reviews for this draft. When you first got this job and became a GM for the first time, just give me your approach to building a scouting department and what you wanted to do.
Yeah, really, guys, it's, there's obviously different ways to do it and different language and ultimately trying to get a process and procedures and grading system that I'm used to and what makes sense to me. And so there's an adjustment for guys that have been working under a different system. So, there's a lot of, it's educating people and trying to get everyone on the same page, I guess, in terms of the language that we use and then also what exactly we're looking for, and we need the new coaching staff to help us with that in terms of, hey, what fits in their system and what doesn't, and the types of players that we're looking for both on and off the field. And so really it starts with that, getting everybody on the same page. And so we had to do that on the fly a year ago, and so we were trying to make all those changes as we were going, along with evaluating players. We had a draft and free agency to get ready for last year. And so, after we got through last year's process, we were able to just step back and really focus on that here over this time last year once we got through last year's draft. And, this year I'd say everything went in the order that it was supposed to go. It happened when it was supposed to and how it was supposed to and really fell into place, just our structure and processes. So that was a good feeling to go through a whole draft calendar cycle, doing things the way, the way that we see fit. And, hopefully it's going to pay off. We feel good about the 12 guys that we drafted here this past weekend, and we'll find out once we get out on the field. But we feel good about where we're at with a college scouting process and pro scouting process right now.
Yeah, we had Darius Robinson on the show, Monti, and he was fantastic. And I just blown away by just what a high character kid he is. And I've heard some of the other interviews with the other players. I want to ask you what the main characteristic you look for in a player, but not stating the obvious, like he's got to be a good football player. That's obvious. But what are some of the main characteristics you are looking for when you're adding people to this organization and this community?
Yeah, and I think that really starts with, I think there's four things that we look for in all prospects. And, everybody's going to have varying levels of these, but it's really intelligence, maturity, accountability, and dependability. And so, some guys are going to check all those boxes. Some guys may be a little higher in others. Some guys may come up short in one of those. But, ultimately we're just trying to decide, or we're trying to come up with what exactly each of these guys are in those categories. And then we know what we're dealing with. So hey, somebody might need a little extra help learning, or somebody, hey, we got to push this guy along a little bit in accountability. But, we're trying to get to the bottom of who these guys are as people. And, our scouts play a huge role in that, and they do a great job of going out and gathering information throughout the fall process and then through the All-Star game process. Our coaches get involved. involved at the combine and then on 30 visits and Zooms. And so, in the end, we're just trying to paint the picture of what the player is so we have an understanding of who they are when they walk in our door.
Monti Ossenfort, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show. Positionally, when you step back and you look at the big picture, is that about right? Is that about what you expected in terms of how many of this guy, how many of that guy, how many on offense, how many on defense? Was that a target you were aiming for, or did that just happen?
I would say that just happens.
Okay.
I think we go into a draft, and certainly every team has needs, and some needs are greater than others. But really, we're gonna follow our board in terms of where we see the value of the players falling. And when the stars align and the top player on the board is at a position of need, like that's a home run. That's when things really look great. And there's other times when, hey, it may not look like that's a huge need on our roster, but if it's a good player and the value is there, we're going to take that guy because, the transient nature of an NFL roster, like what we have now, and we think we're good at one position, injuries, attrition that happens in a season and through the years. And so, we can never have enough good players. We can never have enough good people. And when we have a chance to get people that we think are good players, regardless of positions, we're going to go ahead and do that.
You drafted a running back. You drafted, obviously, a grade A top wide receiver. You drafted a couple of offensive linemen, including one who says he loves to maul people because he feels like he's doing God's work.
I like him.
Which one said that, Isaiah
Tip Ryman says he loves to maul.
Tip said that.
Yeah, he loves to maul people because he feels like he's doing God's work out there, which I thought was a great quote.
He plays like it. So.
What offensively, in terms of kind of doubling down on your philosophy, on JG's philosophy, on Drew's philosophy, what does who you drafted say about the style of offense you want to play next year?
Yeah, I think we want to be a multiple offense, so I think a lot goes into that. Like, we want to be able to be physical. We want to be able to run the ball. We want to be able to pound defenses and to finish off games. We want to be explosive on offense. We want to be able to make big plays, generate explosive plays, and hit a defense and gash a defense when there's that opportunity is there. And we want to be able to protect the quarterback. So when we do want to pass the ball, we want to be able to protect the quarterback. So, I think multiplicity is the key when we talk about our offense, and it makes it a tough offense for the defense to prepare for. And bringing physicality, it wears on a defensive front, especially late in the season. And the way we finished the season last year running the ball, that's hard for a defense to hold up to. So the more that we can do on offense, it just makes it a bigger challenge for the defense to prepare for.
Take me through the trade in the second round, because I know a lot of people are fascinated by that. You had 35, you traded down to 43, you ended up, being able to move up a whole lot of spots, 80 or 90 spots, I think it was, and you end up with Max Melton. So dropping from 35 to 43, what was the philosophy there for you, and was Melton the guy you were targeting all along?
Yeah, so I think what happens with that, Gambo, is when you have a pick at the top of a round, especially when, we got through Thursday night and then people have all day Friday to sit around and stare at their boards and oh man, I can't believe this guy didn't get picked. I thought this guy was going to go in the first round. I think when the night ended on Thursday night, we were really confident that the next day we were going to have multiple offers for 35 for teams that were looking to come up. And that was very obvious. Like, before I laid my head down Thursday night, I already had an offer for pick 35, and the next day comes and we have multiple other offers. And so really what goes into that is obviously we're ready to pick a player at 35, and there's multiple players that we're ready to pick at 35. And then when those offers come in, we have to make a call. Like, how confident are we that one of those players that we want to pick at 35 is going to make it to wherever it is that we drop back to? So, how are we comfortable dropping back 5 spots, 10 spots, 15 spots? And then how many players do we have? Okay, if there's 5 players that we would be comfortable taking there, and we're going to be dropping back 8 spots to, say, where Atlanta is, then, hey, chances are one of those players is going to make it. So, and that's the trade-off. Are you happy with all the players you're willing to take equally? Is there one that stands out above the others? And then, you got to weigh what it is that they're willing to give you. And so our opportunity to add a mid-third round pick, which we thought was a very valuable pick from Atlanta, and number 79, and to give us a fourth third-round pick, like that was very attractive. And the fact that Max Melton, made it to 43, like that was an exciting time for us. We were holding our breath there, and that he would make it, and he did, and so we were excited to add him.
All right, Monty, quick one from me, non-draft related, and I'm just curious. The deadline to pick up the 5th-year option on Zaven Collins is on Thursday. Have you made a decision about what you're going to do about Zaven?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that here the last couple of weeks, and so we are not going to pick up the 5th-year option on Zaven, and I would say like we've had discussions with Zaven, and we're extremely happy of where he's at, and the versatility that Zaven brings to our defense, and we want to keep Zaven around here. It's just the 5th-year option. It removes some flexibility in terms of the cap that comes along. So we're going to have some discussions here as we go. I love Zaven. Love where he's at, love what he brings to our defense, and hopefully hopefully we can keep him around here for a long time.
All right, it's hard to say everybody's favorite pick is not Marvin Harrison Jr., so I don't want to ask you about that. But Trey Benson, the running back in the third round, this pick looks like it's going to be really helpful for you guys. You needed another running back. Tell me what you liked about him.
Yeah, Trey's a unique guy. I would say, he's had a couple productive years there at Florida State, and he's a big back. He's got good feet. He's instinctive. He's tough. He's got good contact balance, so he's able to grind out those inside runs and get those tough yards. And then, the thing that makes Trey special is that when he does have a crease, he's got that speed that he can hit it and he can pull away. And so you don't typically see that in a back with Trey's style. And so for us we felt that he was a good fit for what we do schematically, and really we got James Conner, who was arguably one of our best, if not our best, offensive player last year, and we feel that Trey complements James really well, and so we're excited to continue to strengthen a position that we feel is already in good shape, and so Trey coming in to complement James, who had a very good year, and he looks great so far in the offseason program. So that was a great opportunity for us, and we were excited to add Trey.
All right, holding down the fort with Monty every Sunday from 12 until 2 here on Arizona Sports.
There it is.
When it's not football season, I can see it.
We could sell that, huh?
Yeah, we can sell that.
We do have more than two listeners, so
that's good. Yeah, let's keep them going.
But only during the off season because you're busy on Sundays.
That's
Monty,
right.
we kept you late. I apologize for that, but thank you for your time and the conversation. We really appreciate it. And again, congratulations on the well-received draft.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're excited. We got some positive momentum going. We're excited to get these rookies in here a week from Thursday and get them joining our team and just keep building this team for the 2024 season.
Thanks, Monty. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Monty thank you.
Yep, you got it. Monti Ossenfort joining us here on the Arizona Sports Line.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona Sports.